Hi, everyone. Dr. Victoria Scurbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. We're here in Massachusetts. It's Labor Day here in the States, Monday, the 7th of September. Um, I've tried a number of times to do readings on um, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and their campaign, and then Trump and Pence. And every time I've done it, there's been an issue. The camera, it didn't record, something happened. It's just been really difficult to get this reading out. So I'm going to try again. um, and I'm going to use one of my oldest decks called the Witch's Tarot. Okay. And this is probably one that I've used the most. Or at least I had a period of time when it's the one I used exclusively. Now I sort of go back and forth. It's not my oldest deck though. I think the oldest deck, the first tarot deck I ever got was the Celtic deck, the Celtic tarot, and I think I still have it. So I'm gonna have to look for it and do a reading with it. And then I got the Rider Waite, which is the one that the one that everybody knows. And then I got this one because my teacher used to use this one. My teacher Ellen, she initiated me into Wicca back in uh, Candlemas 1993. That was the same day that I think Uranus and Neptune made their conjunction in Capricorn. I think it was Uranus and Neptune. So it's been with me a long time. So let's see. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. What do we have? What's ahead for them over the next, let's see, 60 days? 60 days. About 60 days before, right? We do it. Okay, so the immediate environment is the Six of Wands. So there's a plan here. They're planning out their strategy. That's what they're doing right now. But this is a victory card, and I think that either they're seeing the possibility of a victory, or they might be a little bit overconfident with the victory. But let's see what else comes up. Um, at the crossing this is um, the Hanged Man. Now this says to me that there are sort of bigger forces working at this time, and there's a certain amount of um, things that they're going to have to accept in order to move forward. So it could be that they need to be more progressive. Although they're trying to like go against Trump, um, I think they're spending too much time personally. I think they're spending too much time trying to get Republicans on board and forgetting that if they just were a little bit more progressive, they could have all the Democrats on board, right? So it's just a weird sort of thing. So they might have to actually be more progressive in their rhetoric, perhaps, or their plans. I mean, I think that if they get in, they're going to have to be more progressive anyway, because that's what the times demand. So one way or the other, they're going to have to be more progressive if they get in, but they have to get in, right? So let's see what's at the root of this. We have the Four of Swords. Um, there's a containment energy here. There's an energy of protection. Now, I know that the energy of protection that they are striving towards is to protect the American people, because that's really where we don't feel safe, right? We don't feel safe, and the person in charge is fomenting all the reasons we don't feel safe. We're not getting the resources we need. We're not getting the help we need. They're not paying attention to the COVID crisis. They're not doing what they need to do with that, right? And he's attacking people, and like so this and whole like areas, and making choices around COVID because it was the Democratic states. I mean, all of this stuff is just crazy, right? So there's this sense of like, Donald Trump has got a gun pointed at somebody, and it's us, right? And so they want to protect that. They just have to not get too like like when Donald Trump says Joe is in his basement, there's something about that that's true, even if he's no longer in his basement. There's a there's like a fire that's missing. Now, I think Kamala Harris has added to that. Before Joe, there was to me there was no fire, and it's funny because he has a Sag ascendant, but he doesn't have. I don't believe he has a lot of fire in his chart. He's got Pluto and Leo, of course, because of his generation. Um, but there's so much Scorpio there. Like still waters run deep. There's so much about Joe that we at a depth. But that might be exactly the kind of energy that we need. We need that depth. We need that experience of suffering that he has experienced on the level that he has, very personal level of loss, experience around loss. Now, Bernie Sanders certainly has that experience around loss, but his is a little bit more energetically, as I see it. It's more about compassion for humanity and man, and what man has done to man, like truly humanitarian. Whereas Joe seems much more relational, much more of a relational energy. Just my feeling. So they're carefully trying to construct or take actions to protect, but they can't look like they're being too wimpy, which it's unfortunate because it's not really being wimpy, it's just being careful. But there's been this like creation of this, well, you're just not brave to be out there, which is nuts, right? I mean, maybe that's what we have to work on, not so much, Joe and but switching the and maybe that's what they have to work on. They have to work on switching um the whole I want to it paradigm's the wrong word, but it's like it's as if Trump is is creating the reality that they have to fight against instead of them creating a reality that will pale Trump's reality, right? Which Trump's reality will pale in comparison to. And I think like perhaps they did some of that in their uh, in their the DNC, but they're as I like feel into the energy, it feels like the Trump organization is punching, and the Democrats are ducking the punches. Whereas if the Democrats just like need him, like kicked his knees out from under him, um, you know, they'd be in a better position. And it doesn't even have to be physical kicking his knees out of him, but there's got to be something. There's a weak spot, and for some reason they're not either looking for it or finding it or what. So I don't know what that's about, and I don't even know where that all that came from. The past, we have the Princess of Pentacles. Um, this has to do with, of course, Pentacles has to do with money, right? But the Princess is like it's like the end product of, and perhaps whatever it is that they're building is the end product of monies that they received, right? Or donations that they received. I don't know what that means. Okay, let's look in the sky. Oh, we got the Nine of Cups. This is the wish card. So this is good. So this is them getting their wish. So that's in the sky. So the possibility of winning is definitely available to them. Let's see the immediate future. So the immediate future is generally about 6 weeks out. So if we have 30 days, 6 weeks is like what? Oh God, I should know that. 6 times. Almost the whole time, right? Star card. The star card. So the star card talks about inspiration. It talks about inspiration. It's also a card associated with Aquarius. And Aquarius, again, is very much a progressive energy. And so I think that they are going to start to reach out to progressives as well. I hope they'll do it because I think it'll make a big difference. Because who cares what Trump says, quite frankly? So he says that, oh, we're going to be left wing and we're going to be this and we're going to be that. Just ignore that stuff. Like, don't say no, we're not. You know what I'm saying? Ugh. Um, decide what your guiding star is and follow it. Instead of be nipping at Trump's heels and making it all about Trump, make it about the inspiration. That's the energy. If they do that, then uh, I think they'll win. How it's seen from the outside, I feel like there's divine help here. That this is the light is coming down to help the darkness, but they're at a crossroads here. I don't know if you can see that. This is the Four of Wands. They're at a crossroads. There's three paths. There's the right path, the left path, and the middle path. And they're on the middle path. So, in terms of what I just said about them including the progressives, they have to give the progressives something, and they have to give the Republicans who are, sort of like, or the Democrats that are kind of like Republicans. They have to, walk that middle path. They do. But as a progressive, I feel like they're not even considering us. Like they don't care. They didn't have any progressive speakers except for Bernie Sanders, which he wasn't really a progressive speaker. I mean, they did have Liz, so that was good. Because of all the speakers, Liz and Bernie were the ones that touched my heart. Not because I'm a progressive, but because of the energy of their speech. We could really do some wonderful, we could really, like, the next couple of years are going to be tough. We're going through our Pluto return as a country. So it's not going to be sunshines and butterflies. It's not. It's going to be hard, hard work. But you have somebody like Liz Warren. You have somebody like Bernie Sanders. You have somebody smart as Kamala Harris, right? You have Andrew Yang. I mean, imagine Marianne Williamson. I mean, if they let her in, because she's progressive. Um, and Castro. Like, there's so many good ideas, and so many, like, it's as if the Democratic convention or the Democratic run for the presidency was all the great ideas. These are all the great ideas that we can look forward into the future with. All we have to do is get through the darkness that is Trump. And the darkness that is Trump is the darkness within us. We have to face up to what we've done as a country, to this country, to the Native Americans, to the Africans that we brought over here, to the immigrants that came here and that are still coming here, the Mexicans. I mean, just say yes. We see, we did it. Let's do it differently this time. Instead of saying we were right, bro, that never happened. Denial is not just a river in Egypt. The domestic situation. Oh, wow. The Three of Cups. This is a lovely, lovely card. Three of Cups. So that's good. So there's hope. There's camaraderie. There's friendship. The Three of Cups is a card of friendship. They're all around this. The I guess we could call it the fountain. Maybe the fountain of youth, or just the fountain, drinking from the cups. Fountain of life. Let's see. Hopes and fears. The Ten of Pentacles. I mean, the Ten of Wands. as a hope and fear. Um, I'm not going to, that they can overcome the burdens, that it's not overwhelming. I say it's a hope, it's not a fear, because I don't think they're afraid of the future. I think they can't wait to get their claws into the future and start doing stuff. And maybe that's what we needed. Maybe that would wake up the Democrats to give them a set of goyones, as we say, outcome. We have the Queen of Wands. This is a fire sign. Wands, wands, wands. In this deck, the wands is air, actually. So this is Kamala Harris. Interesting. She would come up. The Ace of Pentacles, a new adventure. The Ten of Swords, something ending. And the Devil underneath. The Devil underneath. So this card, the one that I call Kamala Harris, which definitely could be her, is also about starting on a new road. You see, she's taken a few steps on this road. Um, a decision has been made in what direction we're going to go in. Then we have the Ace of Pentacles, right, which is starting a new sort of like the primary concern being the health and welfare of people, because the Pentacles are about health, but also the financial welfare of people. Then we have this Ten of Swords here. Um, you know what? Let me pick another card because I only picked two cards after that. Pick one more card. Okay, so we have the Ten of Swords, and that is a sense of an ending of some sort, a freeing, really. In this deck, the man, it has the swords in his hands. There's swords all over the floor. There's actually uh, a dead body here, but there's a woman behind him, and she you can't tell, but she had tethers on. She's untethered, so he sort of saved her, um, and freed her. And then, oops, and then this is the last card. This is the Three of Swords. This is in other decks, it's heartbreak, but this is about going down a dark path. This is about going down a dark path. And the threes in the tarot are associated with Bina. And Bina is the place where all things gestate, but all things gestate in the dark. And so this says to me that we're going to go through a period of darkness, but it's not the same kind of darkness that we're experiencing with Donald Trump, but it's a real sort of digging deep to come to understand and heal the pain, all the heartache that we've had experienced, and not just in the last 4 years, but the heartaches of a country who is now is looking at their soul, and the core of their soul, and surrendering to that soul, and evolving, and allowing something new and something more whole and healed to move forward. There's also an indication, and I get this indication, and I've seen it in other readers, they see it too, where it almost seems like Biden is not quite going to make it, or if he does, it's just like I don't know. It's like he's almost, unless this guy is Biden. Well, it doesn't really look like Biden, does it? Um, and he's freeing the feminine. and then the feminine walks forward. So I feel as though these cards indicate that yes, they can win, and yes, they actually it looks like they will win. But winning is not exactly what they think it's going to be. Like it's going to be winning, but we're going to go on a road that we haven't trod before, and it looks like the woman is the one walking forward. So, all right, I had a back when we were doing the Democratic people, the ones who were running. Um, I actually had a reader. I mean, reader, a watcher. That always sounds weird, right? A watcher who said that she had a vision of the next president having. She said, "I saw a woman with short, dark hair," and she thought it might have been Amy Klobuchar. And I said, "Well, Kamala Harris has, well, she doesn't have short now, but it was shorter, dark hair. So she might have been right." I tend to take what my watchers say, like, "Oh, I had a dream and I saw this." I take those pretty seriously, you know, pretty seriously. So if I can't, I'm sorry, I can't remember my own name, quite frankly. So don't take offense. I do remember you said it. So if you're out there and still listening, you want to take credit for that, please do. Please do. All right, so that was Harris and Biden. So let's look at Trump and Pence. Let's see what's up for them. Let's see what's up for them. Whole different energy. Huh? Let me get into their energy. Quite frankly, let me get into their energy. You know what I feel when I feel the two of them together? I feel a profound fear of women. A profound fear of women. I mean, Trump is an infant. He's a 3-year-old whose mommy didn't love him, and his daddy never even like knew he existed until he was the only son that like would be willing to mold into his father's diabolical plot to create Frankenstein. Um, but Pence, it's almost like how white he is on the outside. His like hair is white, his skin is white. I think on the inside there's a darkness there, and I don't mean an evil darkness necessarily. Um, Maybe an evil darkness. You know who he reminds me of? Was it the Da Vinci Code? The guy with the white hair. He was in Opus Dei. Like that's kind of who he reminds me of. If he was still Catholic, he'd probably be Opus Dei Catholic, right? Okay, let's see. Trump and Pence. Oops. So we have something new. I think this is a new strategy. This is a new strategy. So let's see what the new strategy is about. Let's see what they have a new strategy, but what is like they've decided we're going to go in this direction. This is what we're going to do. All right, let's do it. What's challenging it is emotional instability. So while they have decided to go in a direction, whether or not the Trump will go along with it, or will he go into his emotional ups and downs, because they have to continuously manage that with him. We have the Fool, so it's another indication of something new, taking a leap. Now, this could be a card of being foolish or brilliant, but this is the card associated with Uranus, and he is, Trump, a Uranian influence, no doubt about it. He is here to blow up the system so that we can rebuild it in a more equitable way. See the past. Money, 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 money. So this is the Ace of Pentacles, which is like new, like something new, maybe a new business. You know, I almost feel like if there was a better deal than being the president of the United States, he would take it. He would take it. See what's in the sky. We have the Princess of Wands. This is about messages. Messages. So we're going to hear something. Keep our ears open. And it might come through a young girl. Messages from a young girl. Wouldn't it be funny if that was, what's her name's daughter there? Like you have these two people. You have these, oh my God, the blonde. You know who I'm talking about. Oh, God. Anyway, her and her husband. Her husband is with the Lincoln Project and she works for Trump. And the daughter is the one that got her to quit, right? Wouldn't it be funny if it was like the daughter that, like, the 15-year-old girl on like Snapchat or Instagram, whatever the hell she uses, that like switch, that like change, that like that's the camel, that's the straw that broke that particular camel's back. That would be a hoot. Right. So in the immediate future, we have being along the path, and this is the path of attack. Attack. So he's not going to back down, like when they say, you said this about the military, you said that about the military. Instead of saying, I didn't say that, they're gonna, this is a frame. They're framing me to say that. They're picking and choosing what they want me to say. What's being said, it's fake news. No, he's gonna actually get worse. He's gonna attack more. He's going to attack more. So expect, because he's on that road. This guy is on the road already. There's no turning back. There's no turning back. He's almost at the end. So he is not going to change his stripes. So if you say this, he's just going to attack you in another way. He's not going to say, oh, I didn't say that, which could uncover some really gross stuff, right? So we don't know. We'll see. We'll know 6 weeks out. We'll know. We'll see what's coming up. How it's seen from the outside. This is the high priestess. This is about the secrets. So maybe some secrets, some things that were hidden previously will be seen. The domestic situation. We have the two of wands here. This is you using your energy to whip something up. Like there's this sense of like whipping things up. This could actually be well, this is whipping up the base. This is using his words to like incite and excite. But beyond that, this could actually be like a tornado or a hurricane or some sort of thing that happens between now and election day that maybe takes up a lot of space or takes up a lot of room that he's used to having, right? Hopes and fears. Um, this is the nine of wands. It's like a magician, like smoke and mirrors here. He hopes that people still buy his BS, and he's afraid that they'll see that it's all smoke and mirrors, or the enough people, or whatever. And the outcome, we have the Knight of Pentacles. This could be a lot of times people see this as a mercenary, and I can't see why this wouldn't be a mercenary. There can be some mercenary things. I think those guys that were they in Portland, Oregon, and these ICE officials and stuff. I think there might be some of them, but I think they're interspersed with Eric Prince's, the Prince of Darkness, as it were, his people, his people. Okay, let's see if we can get a major arcana. We have the Ten of Pentacles. This is old money, old family money. The Ten of Wands. So two tens. That's usually an ending of some sort. And the Queen of Wands, picking a new path. Okay, let's see what's underneath. The Ace of Swords. I've seen this before too. If he has a better deal, he'll take it. That may include not pressing charges on his taxes, all that taxes stuff that they got, all that information, taking him down that rabbit hole. He might say, look, I'll go. I'll put up a thing, but I'll leave. I'll get out of here as long as you know. I won't pull any of the scrap. I won't create this, whatever. I don't know. So, as far as victory at this point, anyway, it looks like the Democrats have it. But they're moving into a new world that they're not quite, they they don't know. Like, the world that they're moving into is not one that they imagined. Imagined. And again, it doesn't have to be completely negative. It doesn't. It's just that the old rules aren't going to work anymore. And the things that made people before happy are not going to make them happy. And so they have to change. So it's like a new journey for them. But for the Trump stuff, it feels like he's going to, uh, just one second, he's going to go off to some land where he can do his thing, um, away from us. That's what it looks like to me. All right. Well, like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed that. Hopefully, we can upload this. I'll let you let me know. I'll let you. You'll know when it gets uploaded. All right, guys. Take care. Love you all. Have a great day. Happy Labor Day for those in the U.S. And take care.